Guys, deluded Guna Carla's back with a bang. Hanged out all my up Nas and Carla's like Mr. Say, YouTube's and Golo Kante. I'm back. Let's get this Q&A started. Yeah, I didn't write it by hand, got it printed off. You lot have asked some extremely good questions. Shout out to everybody who's participated. So yeah, let's keep this thing going. If I've missed your questions out, just get in the comments and I'll deal with it in the next one on Friday. So let's start. Lennox Fours, at Lennox Fours, sorry. Besides Dennis Bergkamp, Tony Adams and Thierry Henry, who would you bring back for this current Arsenal team out of the former players? Well, that's hard, man. I've got to say Vieira. You guys know I always answer these sort of questions with Vieira. But if you look at our current team, we're missing a midfielder. We're missing someone who, on top of having the steel, the grit, can put a foot in and intimidate the opposition's midfielders. We're missing someone that can build possession, someone that can drive forward, someone that can lay on teammates. Vieira's that. You get Vieira. Could you imagine Vieira with Xhaka? Ozil would never have to drop, and you would see Ozil doing his thing in the final third more. So either him. If it's not Vieira, of course, because we need a centre half, I could say so. Campbell. A bit of me would love Ashley Cole back, and I'm gonna say a random one is no, it's not the Invincibles. I'm assuming the question was around them sorts. If it was the more present day, well, obviously not present day, but you know what I mean. Cesc Fabregas again, like Vieira, of course, he's never gonna put a foot in, and he's not steel, but he can build. Could you imagine Cesc clipping balls over the top for Lacazette, and then you have Ozil with the cute little interchanges? Wenger ball at his finest, man. That's why I can't understand why Wenger didn't bring the guy back. So yeah, there's that. Moving on from that. At Show Rizzy, shout out to him, man. That's my guy again. You guys that always ask these questions, like Leonard's Forge, you always retweet and stuff. I love you guys, man. He's asked 3 questions. First one: what does Arsenal need to do to become a major force in Europe, i.e., the latter stages of the Champions League? Well, it's a bit cliche, but if it was up to me, firstly, you got to install a winning mentality. Arsenal, we typically punched above our weight, even when Wenger came and we started making noise, punching above our weight. We need to get back to that. We need to get back to not accepting second. We fight for each other. We fight for the club. We have the values. All of these things. We have to put pride in defensive work and actually holding the back line and have as much pride in clean sheets and defending as we do scoring the perfect goal. That's the only way you can win league titles and progress to latter stages of the Champions League. So just spend the money for these star players that are going to kick us on. You've seen Thomas Lemar, you've seen, I don't need to go into detail, but there's been how many over the years, how many world class or top class players that could dramatically improve this side that we've shuffled over. Yeah, man, they're the sorts we need to punch above our weight for signings, punch above our weights domestically, but it all comes from the owner. It all comes from the owner. You can blame Wenger, we can blame Ivan, we can blame all of this, but it all comes from the head, the shepherd. The shepherd leads, the sheep follow. That's what happens. It's the same way. Of course, it's slightly different, but Spurs now. You're seeing Spurs come up. You're seeing Kane do his thing. Dele, one fullback in Rose left now, and all of these players. The manager Pochettino is certainly ambitious. The players are certainly ambitious. You see Rose talking in the Sun. Players are leaving because they want to join City. Toby's agents talking. So the other staff are clearly that are contracted to Spurs are clearly ambitious. Now it's up to Levy. Levy now needs to give people the money, or whoever is in charge, give people the money. Let's sign a marquee player. Let's sign players that will not only improve us but take us up a level, and then gas other star players to join us. Until we start doing things like that, we can forget about elite level and Bayern Munich like we were told when we're coming to the Emirates. So I hope that answers your question, bro. Next one. Has Wenger's legacy been tarnished? You could say tainted, but never tarnished, because for me, he's still the first foreign manager that came and gave Fergie problems. He's still got 3 league titles. I believe he should have way more than that, and that's something he can look back at as a regret. Sorry, guys, low battery. As a regret. He could also say he hasn't got a Champions League, but he's came here, 3 league titles, given Fergie something to think about. First foreign manager, came with all the sorts of football and all of these sort of things that you know Wenger for, the philosophies and things. Led us through financial period. Yes, he should have won the league a couple of times in that, but I think that's for me personally, that's the most important period. That's better than any league title he's actually won at this club. Yes, from a football fan point of view, I want to win the league, but when we look back, he will be praised for that work throughout our financial hardship. He'll be praised for that. So I don't think it will be, and if we look at it through the grand scheme of things and all the things he's given us, yes, it's been double figures of failure, but when you compare the good work he's done to the previous work, yes, he's past his best, but he's still done a lot of good things, and I believe anyone that's rational will see that and see what he's given both to Arsenal, definitely Arsenal, and the English game. And all you got to do is listen to how Zidane speaks, Pep speaks, all of these managers that have won way more than him, players that are way more documented and have way more accolades than the guy. people that haven't even managed the guy hold the guy in high regards. Away from football, philosophy, society. I always say football mirrors society, and certainly for me, there's always going to be bias because he's shaped a lot of how I look at football, and mainly player development. I believe Wenger will be still held in high regard. Yes, like I said, you can't ignore these failures and there'll be question marks, but tarnished never. Any rational fan, whether you support Arsenal or not, can see the guy won't be tarnished, tainted, and wherever the way it was. So sorry about that, bro. Next question. If Arsenal fail to win Europa and don't get in the top four, where does that leave you guys? Well, it leaves us further sleepwalking into the abyss. In my head, I've already foreseen this. I hope it doesn't happen, but it's already happened in my book. We've already sleepwalking into the abyss. You're seeing players that are world class that can walk into any team that's going to walk away for free. There's nothing. I mean, if that did happen, I mean, it'd be at the point where I've been saying, just play the kids, play players that want to be here, play with players where there's some sort of future. We'll just have to go back to the drawing board, a 3-year cycle. You'd like to think Wenger, if he doesn't, well, he's shown he can stay regardless, but you'd like to think he would be out of a job if that happened again. You'd like to think there'll be significant shifts with the chairman. Hopefully the owner would take action, but I mean, the owner's clueless, so the less said about that, the better. Cool. Next question. Jacob_Brand. I hope I've said your name right. I don't think I said. Thoughts on Sergio Aguero? I mean, one word, clinical, world class. He's not as good as he used to be, but he's still 30 bad seasons, getting 30 plus goals. Undoubtedly, City's best striker they've had in there. Definitely a City Prem legend. Definitely the best striker to ever play in City's history. Definitely one of the best to ever win Premier League. I love Sergio, man. I hope that answers your question. Thoughts on the England camp? Are you in the camp who do or don't care? Neither, to be honest. You could say I don't care. You could say I care. I care for the players that I like, the young players and things like that. But I'm detached from England. Wouldn't say I really support them. I more support Brazil. People can say what they want. I don't feel necessarily attached to England or any sort of national pride for England or anything like that. I don't feel it represents me personally. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. And lastly, he said thoughts on Harry Redknapp. Harry Redknapp's my guy, man. The wheeler and dealer. He's a bit fickle at times, but one thing he does know is talent. Like, he knows talent. Coaching and things are a bit booky, but he knows talent. I saw he got sacked from Birmingham, so yeah, he's got to hold that. Reese_Nelson. What got you into doing YouTube? Jack Wilshere and Gnabry being sold, and just seeing that in this YouTube thing, it weren't really who is talking about the football, it's who can scream the loudest and who can act like a child the most. So that's why I thought, let me get in this and give it a try. Lord Myers. Are there any positives if relegation becomes a reality? No, bro. None at all. Not one. Not one. Those that want the club to burn to the ground, I suppose so, but not one. Julie Dench, hope I said your name. Thoughts on expected goals and the role of stats in football in general? Well, I believe people think I hate stats. I don't hate stats. I just believe that you need to know football to use these stats properly. Because if you are fickle and you're looking at stats, you're thinking of nonsense. Stats are very, like you said, expected goals. Stats are useful because, I mean, if I'm looking at a striker, let's just take Harry Kane. Harry Kane doesn't score in August, right? So if I look at his expected goals, when is he most clinical? When is he least clinical? What games does he score in? How many goals is he expected to get in the season? Naturally, if you're going to sign a striker, these are things you're going to consider. But then you can check all of these stats and then you take them on board. I believe then you go and use your eyes and see, is Harry Kane the sort of striker I want? Does he move how I want him to move? Then you feel something and you go and sign him. You can't have one without the other, in my opinion. Too many stats, you see what it does. Not enough stats, you miss out on stuff. So it needs to marry in the middle. My bias isn't towards stats. I believe the eyes are the best teacher ever, of course. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. What else is there? Ryan Ramos, hope I said your name. What team would Ozil be utilised under the most? I'd say there's numerous. Bayern Munich, they've got a number of workhorses and midfielders that are going to be tactically in place, and Ozil can thrive and find pockets. I'd say Manchester United because Jose knows him. Jose's used him expertly. They've got Pogba who can build and them things there. They've got Matic who's going to destroy teams. Ozil would not have to drop as deep as he does at the Emirates. So I'd say them sort of teams. I'd say he could still get into Real Madrid, in my opinion. He'd thrive at Barcelona. I mean, Ozil's an extremely good footballer, and I have a lot of bias towards him. So maybe I'm not the best to answer that question. His second question: what does Kane have to do to break into the world-class bracket? Well, firstly, keep doing what he's doing. Keep scoring and winning the Golden Boot. I'd say he does score in big games, but I'd say he needs to take them games by the scruff of his neck. He does it against Arsenal. He tears up Arsenal, but I want to see him go against Chelsea, United. It's like, that was the Harry Kane game. He took it. He made the difference. Like I said, he scores, but that's one thing I'd probably say. Obviously, you got to do it in the champs, and you kind of got to do it for at international level. But the international thing's a bit gazy because who actually has done it for England at international level? So that answers your question. Lastly, who do you think will be the top 5 players in the world? That's tough, man. There's going to be some unknowns. There's probably some unknown kid in the academy right now. it'll probably be someone we least expect. I could say Asensio, and I'll miss out a lot of other players. But I'd say players in my head, Bernardo Silva, if he develops how I believe he can be an extremely good player. Mbappe, Osman Dembele, Isco, if he keeps going on that way. Obviously Neymar's going to be there. Dybala's looking like he's going to be something. There's a lot of names I wouldn't know, to be honest with you people. I wouldn't know, but I do look forward to seeing it. I always have problems answering that question. But guys, the Leader Goon, I'm signing out. Thank you for the Q&A. Get in the question, get in the comments and ask some more questions. Follow me on my socials. And just thank you overall for just watching my videos, man. Without you guys, this wouldn't be possible. I love you guys, honestly, from the bottom of my heart. Enjoy your weekend. I'm out.